All right. Well, good day, everyone. My name is Art Stewart, and I'm currently acting as Global Commercial Strategic Advisor for IDEX Biometrics. Today, I'm here to talk to you about trust anchors, optimal hardware credential formats, and the importance of implementing some degree of future proofing within our current security architectures, and all based on the evolving threat landscape. So with that, we'll get into it. We will go through during this presentation how fast the cyber threat is now evolving. We'll look at trends in our online presence and work from home digital transformation. We'll look at the cyber arms race from the perspective of getting out of react mode. We'll review some key tenets of a future-proof solution with an eye towards new requirements targeting our enterprise and high-value consumer customers. We'll specifically look at the importance of roaming authenticators, key quality factors for best-in-class, and their critical role in an enhanced security architecture. And then I'll finalize the discussion with a summary of our readiness for the next wave of attacks. So, last time we all met at Authenticate, the battle cry 1 year ago was, even if you don't do FIDO, at least do multi-factor authentication. And over the past year, we've all witnessed firsthand why multi-factor by itself is not really adequate. And even though it's been a record year of high-profile attacks, at least half of US businesses still have not put a cybersecurity risk plan in place. So anyone attending these meetings is painfully aware the threat evolves constantly, attack sophistication is growing, and even though we seem to be getting back to normal from the pandemic perspective, knock on wood, our online presence is not diminishing. So the payoff for attackers continues to grow. Some elaboration on the payoff. A massive uptick in online shopping and e-commerce is here to stay. It's not a transitory event. 75% of transactions were digital last year. Every computer now is a point of sale terminal. Fraud has moved upstream from payment to account takeover via phishing, and 90% of fraud now takes place in the card not present space. So the movement to multi-factor authentication has proliferated, but it's just not enough. If you would have asked me about FIDO's relevance to payments a few years back, I would have stated that FIDO is not that relevant to the payment space, but I was very wrong. The payment space has long established security measures in place, utilization of big data, use of extremely secure tamper-proof components for stored secrets. But payments are evolving way beyond traditional models with the increase in online banking, and broader protections are definitely needed. In addition to increased online activity from commerce, we've also gone through extreme digital transformation in the way we work. The work from home great experiment has succeeded via increased use of digital tools and acceleration of digital transformation. Security concerns have always been a roadblock to digital initiatives. Demands for high productivity work from home tools just expands the attack surface and makes the problem that more difficult. Gartner predicted that in this year, application programming attacks will become the most frequent attack vector, causing data breaches for enterprise web applications, and they've been pretty spot on with that prediction. In the arms race that we all run in, we have fallen behind with just multi-factor and one-time passwords. So you've all heard of the virtuous cycle effect. This is the dark side of the virtuous cycle, or the vicious cycle, and we're kind of in it right now. With our increased online presence, the payoff for fraudsters expands through an ever-increasing target-rich environment. The industry response to date has been via tactical attack mitigation, and it comes up short as the next evolution of cyber sophistication emerges. So the key question is, how do we get out of this cycle? And one of the major themes of this talk. When industry reacts to the increasing threat and commits to transition to new system architectures, we want to emphasize the need for some degree of future proofing. We need to avoid a tactical reaction to the latest hack. No more Band-Aids, no more incrementalism like this guy in the picture. Change must come with a system grounded in fundamentals and latest best practices in security architecture. Now, obviously, we can't fully predict the nature of the next wave of attacks, but what we can do is apply the latest, most current best practices in end-to-end security. A system that factors in threat scenarios versus responding to the latest specific attack puts our best foot forward towards readiness for the next wave. So, how do we orchestrate future proofing? Tough question. Some might view these recommendations as more appropriate for enterprise or high-value consumer class security, but we would contend it's just putting both the best technology and best practices towards getting ready for the next wave of cyber attacks. So, starting with application of standards-based security, multi-factor authentication, applying a best-in-class PKI, broad adoption of hardware credentials is a key call here. We are recommending the addition of mutual authentication and secure enrollment and personalization support as well. Most of these are all embodied in the FIDO2 standard today. On the best practices front for high security strength design, we're advocating following security hygiene. Our only trusted components deliver trusted information. Minimization of the attack surface and use of an air-gapped roaming authenticator for a hardware-based credential. Again, most of all these are embodied in FIDO2, but we've extended the framework in a few areas. So fear of what's coming next motivates us towards higher security strength. We'll call it high-value consumer or enterprise class security. Mutual authentication or two-way authentication of a relying party and an authenticator to each other are recommended. Each authentication being asserted as being issued by the relying party using a credential that was accepted during the registration phase. Secure biometric enrollment shall ensure that the authenticator is personalized to the designated user, and simple bootstrapping for registering secondary authenticators for nonsensitive operations is recommended as well. So high security roaming authenticators via the CTAP protocol shall enable step-up security for sensitive operations. Bound authenticators enable user convenience and support our myriad of devices that are in our whole environment now and are critical. But an air-gapped minimal attack surface roaming authenticator acts as the central trust anchor, serving many purposes for both high-value consumer and enterprise. Okay, so a few words on the addition of mutual authentication and secure enrollment. Some of our security-sensitive enterprise customers have mandated this, but we feel that even for high-value consumer, these additions are important steps in getting us ready for the next wave of attacks. So on mutual authentication, two-way authentication of the relying party and authenticator to each other. During the registration phase, the user is bound to a specific account. And this provides high-quality cryptographic assurance that the user authenticating is the user assigned to the account. This accommodates credential registration for new accounts. Existing accounts are adding additional credentials to existing accounts. On the topic of secure enrollment, Multi-factor requires two of the following: something you have, something you are, and something you know. We're targeting, as the rest of the standard is, something you have and something you are for convenience and best resilience to social engineering. Secure enrollment provides the secure binding of the something you are to the something you have. Roaming authenticators is a critical component to this next wave of future proofing. They come in multiple flavors: USB, Bluetooth, and NFC. We submit the following criteria for judging a best-in-class roaming authenticator. Native support, as in a common criteria certified secure element, a minimal attack surface, no rich OS interaction, no interaction with untrusted components, should be air-gapped and offline by default, usability supported by seamless interaction over a standard wireless protocol. Closing the gap between the authenticator and the user, you can prove proximity with the tap, you can enter a PIN code. We feel that the integration of the biometric is best in class through a secure enrollment process. And finally, tremendously important criteria, it's a form factor that everyone will carry. So, best-in-class authenticator, it's our contention that the card format enabled with biometrics maximizes the best attributes for high-value consumer and enterprise-class roaming authenticator. The minimum attack surface hardware credential, your personal trust anchor in a format that you're already carrying in your wallet. Use it to easily bootstrap new devices. Use it when you choose to implement high security transactions or when defined by relying party policy. So, a bit more about user convenience and respecting choices. We have to respect device preferences, but each authentication choice dictates a security level. Platform authenticators, being in your personal laptop or mobile, derive at L1 security level. SE-based card or USB keys achieve L3+. So FIDO Authenticator certification examples are well spelled out on the website very clearly. The highest security authenticator is the trust anchor and enables both step-up security and simple onboarding of other devices with just a simple tap. So here we are. Highest security with minimal attack surface. It's a tamper-proof EAL5+ secure element that supports all sensitive operations. In the secure element, crypto operations, including Authenticator key period generation, are handled. Secure matching of the fingerprint to the template and secure template storage, secure enrollment, and presentation attack deterrence or anti-spoofing is supported as well. In the fingerprint module, image processing and secure delivery to the SE. Secure enrollment is fundamental to our application of best-in-class PKI to ensure that the authenticator is bound to the rightful user. So, a few words on the expanded applications of a card with integrated FIDO2-based PKI. With the integration of end-to-end security, we heighten the value from just e-com transaction to upgraded security for secure online banking, for enterprise use in both physical and logical access, protecting the digital assets of a corporation, and needed protection for high-value crypto transactions. Crypto is especially vulnerable, where the penalties are severe and immediate. No cushion from your financial services provider. Once crypto is hacked, it's gone. And Coinbase was a noteworthy recent example of what can happen. These type of high-value services really demand upgraded protections and builds the value of the card. So, the biometric smart card used to be just endpoint security with the sensor. Now with the sensor plus SE-based FIDO2 Authenticator applet, it's full end-to-end security and the value grows. So what's the scorecard of the trust anchor, the card-based trust anchor? In security, it's the absolute minimal attack surface. It's only 2 chips. It's air-gapped. It's offline by default. Secure element tamper-proof security protects key pair generation, credential storage, and secure matching. And it's securely personalized to the user via fingerprint biometrics. Ease of use, mobile interoperability via NFC, the portability and convenience, it's just another card in your wallet. So I think it's done pretty well with this scorecard. For future proofing, are we ready for the next wave? Well, we start with FIDO2 as the best-in-class standards-based PKI. We add a registration step to enable both authenticating the user to the relying party and authenticating the relying party to the user, delivering mutual authentication. We address security hygiene through only allowing trusted components to perform trusted operations. And we add a secure enrollment step to ensure that the user of the authenticator is the intended user. Use of a hardware credential is mandated in the future-proof solution and implemented with a common criteria certified secure element, tightly coupled to the user with a fingerprint module. NFC-based mobile phone interoperability allows quick bootstrapping of other devices and triggering step-up security for high-value consumer and enterprise operations. Our trust anchor is implemented in a minimal attack surface 2-chip solution with tamper resistance, and multi-factor has been strengthened by replacing what you know and what you have with what you are. You can't be tricked into giving up a secret you don't know. The resulting system becomes unphishable and resistant to man-in-the-middle attacks. So, ready for the next wave? Perhaps with a FIDO2 based authenticator card. So, what's in your wallet? Couldn't resist that last piece. Thank you very much.